Hello and welcome to Drew Manchu's Comic Book Reviews. I'm your host, Drew Manchu, and today we're going to be taking a look at X-Force number 1. X-Force number 1 is the 5th out of 6 titles that are spinning out of Jonathan Hickman's House of X and Powers of 10 crossover series and what is being called Dawn of X. Mutants all around the world are flocking to the nation of Krakoa for safety, security, and to be a part of the first mutant society. However, a new nation means new enemies, and new enemies means a new form of intelligence to fight these enemies, and that's where X-Force comes in. This issue starts off with a meeting of a secret society, everybody under masks. And the hooded figure at the head of this meeting says there is us and there is them. And a simple test, a simple prick of the finger will tell who is us and who is them. And if anybody at this meeting tests positive for the X gene, if anybody is a mutant, they will be taken out. He wishes that the psionic shields were enough to protect them, but they're here to discuss the issue of mutant sovereignty and the realities of the new geopolitical situation, and that they can't be too careful. As they go around the table to collect samples, one individual is slow to remove her gloves, and she remarks that it took a lot of luck to get in here, but it's going to take a lot more luck to get out. The masked woman is revealed to be Domino, and she starts fighting for her life. She knows that she's been had, and there's no way she's going to get out of here. Flashing to the island of Krakoa, Beast is attacked by another animal while he's out studying the fauna. Logan jumps into attack and scares the animal away. Beast urges him to let it be. He says he wants to know what it is and where it comes from, because it's obviously not a product of the island. Logan says that he's been hunting this particular animal for a few days and it has left some victims behind. And that although they see the island as a refuge, it's more like a salad bar. There's always a predator and there's always prey. And that Krakoa makes everybody feel safe and secure. But when you're safe, you're soft. Then we flash to Black Tom Cassidy, who has the ability to manipulate plants and wood. Cassidy has been set in charge of security of the island, and he uses his ability to use the plants surrounding Krakoa to communicate breaches in security, one of which he's being alerted to immediately. But when he gets to the shore, he realizes it's just Kitty Pryde and the Marauders coming back from Russia. They're greeted by Jean Grey, who thanks Kitty for getting all of these refugees out. Kitty says that there's somebody else who deserves thanks. Xavier's man on the ground, who organized the extraction from the other side. It's Colossus, but he is not in the best shape. We then flash to the Seoul International Airport, where we see a bunch of people boarding a flight to Hawaii, and we see some shady characters. This is some foreshadowing that's going to come to play later on. We then see Xavier approaching a Krakoan gate, and he's talking to Sage about Domino, who they've lost contact with about a week ago. Sage says that she's double-checked all the systems, and that she hasn't shown up, but she will let him know. We then see Xavier cross through the gate and be greeted as a friend by the Sokovian government. It seems that they have decided to sign the treaty, and Xavier's there drinking a bit of the bubbly and celebrating with these folks. We then flash to the Healing Gardens, where Healer has called upon Jean Grey. Some of them are unconscious, and he can't figure out what the heck is really wrong with them and how he can help. She sees the horrors of war that these people have experienced, and she lets him know that it's going to take a lot more than physical healing to help these people. We then flash back to the flight where the plan goes into action. And these shady fellas have decided they're going to take over the plane, put everybody else to sleep, and gear up for a mission. They halo jump out of the plane, and we finally see that their target is the island of Krakoa. As they enter the perimeter, Sage gets a ping that Domino is back. And as Xavier is stepping back through the gate onto Krakoa, Black Tom approaches him, telling him he's not a fan of all the coming and the going. He says he talks to the dirt, and he gets a feeling, and the dirt gets a feeling, like worms twisting inside. And he gets the same feeling, and he has that feeling right now. Charles asks if he's upset about the refugees, and he says it's one thing if people are coming and going through the gates, but it's another thing with everybody who washes up on shore. And that even though Sage is in control of categorization and authentication of these people's mutant heritage, it's about what's in their hearts and what's in their minds that he's concerned about. All the while, this strike team is coming in hot from the sky. Tom says they need to rethink their defenses, be clearer about their communication. Xavier lets Tom know that a lot of people didn't want him on board as the ward of the island, that a lot of people didn't trust him, but he assured them that Tom could be trusted, and now he's assuring Tom that all mutants can be trusted, that all mutants are in this together, that Krakoa is not a prison, that it's both their refuge and their fortress, and he would do well to welcome his friends and beware his enemies. But as he says so, the strike team goes into action. Triggers are pulled, and mutants fall. X-Men all over the island leap into action and defense, but it's too late. People have died. Jean Grey, Black Tom, Wolverine, and Beast all leap into action, fighting the strike team, taking them out. Xavier's on the run. He can't get inside their mind. They have some sort of psionic fields, but he realizes that he can't run if he's the finish line, if he's the target. Jean Grey takes charge. She says they were stupid, slow, and careless, but it's time to be smart, swift, and violent, and this can never happen again. They come upon Charles at gunpoint, just before he's shot, as we flash to the final panel with a bullet through Cerebro and the bloody corpse of Charles Xavier lying on the ground. Benjamin Percy does a great job with this story. There's a lot of mirroring themes of predator and prey throughout, and he sets us up with a really nice story with a lot of questions moving forward from this #1 issue. Who is this secret society? What did they do with Domino? How are they accessing her DNA to get onto the island? And what are the first steps in bringing back Professor Xavier after you kill him off in a #1 issue? I like this team that they brought together here. I like the fact that they tied in the Marauders already and their experience in Russia. I like that we brought back Colossus here on this team. But Domino is MIA, and we haven't yet addressed the reason I picked up this book in the first place, and that's Quentin Quire is on the team, and he's an Omega-level mutant. I like the fact that the safety and security has led to them being susceptible to attack, and I love the fact that they're not going to stand for it anymore. So we're going to see how they build this response team in X-Force to deal with these situations, and I can't wait to see the mayhem that unfolds. Joshua Cassara's art style is probably the most stylized look at the post-Hoxpox mutants, and it's not really my favorite style, but I like that he's going outside the box and giving us something different. All the character designs are consistent with Pepe Larraz and R.B. Silva's art from the launching series, and Dean White's colors give everything a really cool vibe. Overall, I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the action, and I kind of enjoyed the promise of action to come, but I feel like this is probably the least must-read of the X-Men titles at this point. The big cliffhanger is going to be resolved pretty quickly, as we've been told for 12 issues now that death isn't permanent. And although this seems like a fun romp, it just doesn't seem like it's tied in the same way that some of the other stories are. But I did enjoy it, and I'm going to be picking it up moving forward, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 3.5 out of 5, guys. Great action with the unique art style. X-Force #1 was a really good book.